Good morning, folks. I meant to make this video yesterday, but with the Easter weekend being here, I got very busy, and so I decided to make it today. This is the review of Oscar Valdez, Liam Wilson, which is for the interim Super-Featherweight WBO title. This happened on, you have to forgive me, I've not slept very well the past couple of days, so if I seem a bit drifty, I do apologise. And I'm sitting in a garden because it's supposed to be the last day without rain today, so I'm just making the most of it. That's why you can hear lots of birds in the background. Yeah, this happened on the early hours and the seagulls. Early hours of yesterday morning here in the UK, obviously late Friday night in America. And yeah, it was a good show. The main event, Oscar Valdez, he ended up stopping Liam Wilson in the 7th round. Initially, I thought it might have been a bit of a premature stoppage, but looking back, I mean, Wilson, very brave young Australian guy, very brave young man. I mean, I gave him the first 2 rounds. I thought he was just landing the better punches. He was catching Oscar Valdez with those uppercuts on the inside. He couldn't miss him with them. He's bullying him to the ropes, cracking him with those uppercuts, and I thought, maybe Oscar Valdez has got a bit old overnight, because I mean they're both coming off. They both have losses last year to Emmanuel Navarrete, who is the WBO Super-Featherweight champion. Obviously, this was for the interim title, so I'd imagine now Valdez will get a shot at potentially a rematch with Navarrete, which I wouldn't mind seeing. It was a good fight the first time. I just found Wilson, and he admitted it himself when they interviewed Liam Wilson afterwards. He admitted that he could have had, he was doing everything right, but he likes to fight too much, and he did. He walked into Oscar Valdez's kind of fight. I mean, Oscar Valdez's defence is pretty much non-existent at times. He fights with his face, but he was whipping those wicked hooks in, and there was some blood from Wilson's nose. And after about I gave the first 2 rounds to Wilson, just purely on the uppercuts and the bullying him to the ropes. Valdez I gave 3 and 4 to, and 5 and 6 they were kind of what I gave 5 to Wilson and 6 to Valdez. They were just trading hooks and uppercuts on the inside, and of course in the 7th. He just unleashed a barrage. I mean, how Wilson didn't go down, I don't know, because he was taking some horrendous punches. And the referee did a good job. At the time, I thought it was a bit premature, but looking at it now, I've watched it back since, and he was taking too many unanswered punches, and you kind of think, well, you don't want to see guys get hurt. He's only a young lad, he can come again. He's very exciting. He'll probably get another gig in America. Or a big payday in Australia, because he's very tough. I mean, he was very unlucky in that Navarrete fight last year. There was a little bit of incompetence and shenanigans going on there in that fight. And I felt sorry for him, because, if he'd have kept to his game plan in the first couple of rounds, he could have actually probably potentially won this. But Oscar Valdez, I mean, he's 31 now. He's not an old man by any stretch, but I remember watching him at the Beijing Olympics. I think he was only about 16, 17 years old. He was only very young. He must have been about 17, 18 years old. Anyway, whatever. He was very young. I remember watching him then. And to see him now and all the wars he's been through, and he did well. And the fight meant a lot to him. You could see the victory meant a lot to him. And he's well worth the money if you ever pay to see him fight or buy a ticket to go and see him fight, whatever. He's well worth it. He is. I mean, that was a bad loss to. I mean, his eyes were busted up last time against Navarrete back in November, and obviously he was totally outclassed by Shakur Stevenson before that, and he struggled with Robson Conceição, the Brazilian, as well. So he can be outboxed, and he can be outfought at times, but he's a fucking warrior, man. And that was a hell of a fight, and I really enjoyed that. It was fight of the night, that was. And the chief support was the female minimum weight. All the belts were on the line, all 4 belts, undisputed, between Seniesa, Superbad, Estrada, and Yokasta. I keep wanting to say Yoko, and I know it's fucking wrong. That's why I've written down, because I keep saying Yoko, and I know it's wrong. Yokasta Valle. Estrada had the WBA and WBC minimum weight titles going into it. Valle had the other two. I had Seniesa winning 96-94. Very, very close fight. A lot of people I've seen online doing the usual when there's a close fight, screaming robbery. I don't think it was a robbery. I wouldn't have got upset if Valle had got the nod, because there were some rounds there that it was, very. I mean, the output came from Valle. She threw more punches, but she was made to miss a lot. And Estrada, I think she was very clever at times. I mean, I gave her the first 3 rounds just on accuracy, and she was making Valle miss quite a lot. But the next 3 rounds I gave to Valle. She found her range. She was catching Estrada coming in. Estrada was sort of coming in with her head up sometimes, and Valle was cracking her with a straight left, a straight right, or the left hand, And I gave. I'm just looking down on my scorecard. So if you see me looking down, this is what I'm doing. My scorecard. Then I gave 7 and 8 and 9 to Estrada. They were very close. Some of them were close. It was kind of like the more eye-catching stuff, in my opinion, came from Estrada. And I gave the last round, the 10th round, to Valle. So it ended up 96-94. All 3 judges had it 97-93. I thought that was, okay, it was another round extra more than I had. But I personally thought Estrada deserved it. And again, I wouldn't have been angry with a draw, because some of the rounds, it's kind of what you liked, The volume and the aggression was coming from Valle, but the accuracy and kind of the kind of more eye-catching stuff at times, just to me, was Estrada. So it depends what you like, really. I'd love to see the rematch. Obviously, Valle and her trainer, her team, were very, very disappointed, very, very upset. And there was also a cut early on to Valle's right eye, caused by an accidental clash of heads, and Valle and her team kind of said it was a bit almost intentional or whatever, and blah blah blah. I don't think it was. It's an unfortunate thing, but it happens in boxing, And no, I thoroughly enjoyed that fight, and I wouldn't mind seeing that one again. I've seen that all the keyboard warriors have been out the past couple of days since that fight saying it was a robbery, and it happens every time there's a close fight, because this was a close fight. Every time there's a close fight, people come out and scream robbery. In my opinion, it wasn't a robbery. It could have gone either way, and it would have been right. Whoever had won this fight, the loser would have been disappointed, and people would have said the opposite. I did feel very sorry for Valle, because she put everything into that. She put the volume in, and it was a very, very entertaining fight. I'd like to see it back again, whether or not they will or not, who knows. I mean, it would make sense to me anyway to do that again. So yeah, that was the Top Rank card. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I got up early to watch it, and last night I attempted to watch the PBC card, obviously headlined by Tim Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora, but I ended up falling asleep. So I know the results. I've seen the action, the highlights. I'm going to go back and watch them all now, and then in an hour or two, probably in a couple of hours, I'll make another. Sorry, that's my neighbour and his fucking motorbike. I do apologise. And I'll make another video reviewing that. Yeah, that's very good. But I'll speak to you in a few hours. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good Easter, if you celebrate it. If not, I hope you're enjoying the bank holiday. Take care, folks, and I'll speak to you soon.